In this video we're going to look at how to position things more accurately on a page. And we saw when we were importing images, if you just look at this first one on my dashboard here, the picture here is on slightly to the side. It's very difficult to align it. So aligning in HTML is very difficult. So what web designers do is they use different techniques, grids and things like that. But one of the earliest techniques and one of the easiest to use is to create a table. Now a table has rows and it has columns, and it acts a bit like a bookshelf. So if you've got a globe of the world, you can put it over here, and if you have some books, you can put them there, and something else, a photograph of your mom, you can put it there, and they stay where they're supposed to go, allowing for more accurate layout on the page, which is what you're not seeing in this first website over here. So how do you use tables? I'm going to w3schools.com, which is the really authoritative source for all things HTML. I've clicked on HTML tutorial. I'm going down and I find tables, and I click on that. And this basically tells you everything that you need to know of how to arrange data into rows and columns. And you'll see it works. You've got a table and it has a particular style. And then TR stands for table row, and TH stands for table heading, so that's for the first line, you're establishing that as a heading, and you'll notice then you close that row and you start another row, and that has a TD, a TD, and a TD. TD stands for table down, so there are 3 columns going down, and here we've got one row which has a header, another row, and a third row before it closes the table. So let's go in and use those to create our own. So I'm clicking open what we were doing last time, and I'm going into the HTML, and the body of course refers to the web page itself. So I'm going to start there in the body, and the very first thing I need is that table. And then I go right to the end, and just before the body tags close, so just after they opened and just before they closed, I'm then going to close my table. This means that everything that's on my web page is in a table. I can then go on and kind of think about my design. I think I want a certain number of rows, but I only want 2 columns. So my H1 heading, I want to be in a table row. Okay, so I open that table row, and the picture's going to be in that row as well. And then I'm going to close that table row. So I open the table row here, and I close the table row there. Now I need a table down. So I go TD, I put my heading in, and then I go close the TD. And you'll notice what that's done is it started moving things around on my page as things start to get organized. So now Jane McGonigal Game Designer now appears inside that table row, and the other things have now gone on top simply because I haven't put them in rows and columns yet. They're kind of lying around loose. I haven't put them in the bookshelf yet. So that image I now want to put in another table down in another column. That'll hold it accurately in that position. And I just close that table down. So that image there now goes inside that table. Now if I go back to the table at the top, I want to make sure the table fits across the width of my page. So I'm going to go width equals, and then I could put a percentage. So if I go 100%, then that table should cover 100% of my web page. And you'll notice immediately what that's done is it's pushed it all across the page. I don't have to go a full 100%. I could go 80%, and then I could go align equals center using American spelling, and that will create a bit of a margin around my table. You can still see some confusing pictures on the outside there. Let me go and remove that actually. Remove that image tag there, and it should remove that picture. There we go, all gone. So I've now got the start of a table row, TR. It opens a table down and puts my heading in that particular column on the left hand side. Then it closes the table down and has another column next to it, and the image goes inside that, and then it closes that row. I could then create another row and put a table down, and that has her life on it, and then the paragraph, and then I could close that table down, and maybe her achievements I want on the side, forming a kind of second column. So I could put a table down there, have her achievements and whatever's written in it, which will be inside paragraph tags. So I'll just create that quickly, close my table down, and then close that row, and then the table itself closes. So what I've tried to do now is my first row has the main heading and a big picture of Jane, and then underneath that I've got two columns which now have her achievements and her life. But you'll notice her achievements is sort of way over that side. I kind of need to say how wide each column is. So I can do that in the TDs. So I could use a width attribute and say I want that to be 50%. And I'm just going to copy that width because all my table columns are going to be 50%. So every time I have a table down, a table column, I'm going to make that 50%. So it goes to half of each page. And that one as well. And now it's positioned a lot more accurately. But I still don't like the way her achievements kind of comes to the left here of the picture. So what can I do about that? How can I fix that? Well, one thing I can do is by using my alignment. So I could, for example, go align equals right. And then we'll see what happens. Her achievements is now pushed over to the right hand side of the page, and everything will align to the right. Now that may or may not be what you want. Or I could go up to where my image is, and in that table down, what I could do is I could put align equals left. And let's see how that changes it. And you'll notice what's happened, I think, is the pictures. Let me get rid of the next one, align equals right. Let me put that as left as well and see if it's made any changes. I'm kind of tinkering and playing with it, and as I do code, it's sort of changing what. Now, why hasn't it worked? Okay, let's go back and look at what's happening in that image. Here it says that anything inside that table down must align to the left. And the picture's not, because in the picture itself I've told it to align to the right. So let's get rid of that align to the right. I don't need that anymore. And let's see if that works. Aha! And now the picture has come over to the left. You can see it takes quite a bit of effort to get the alignment right, but having it in a table with dedicated columns and dedicated rows makes life so much easier. Play with tables, find out how they work, and use the W3 Schools website to see kind of how it looks and copy that code and then just put your own details in it. Have fun with it, enjoy, and don't forget to hit the save, take a screenshot, and upload the task.